Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. I am an avid knitter and crocheter. I'm also a mom of almost 4. I am extremely pregnant. Literally, my due date is in 4 days. And I'm here to record another knit and crochet podcast. I recorded my first one a few weeks ago, and I really wanted to do another one before the baby comes, because once the baby comes, it'll be maybe a little too crazy for a while to do anything. And I have a lot of new projects to talk about that I'm really excited about. So it's going to be your typical podcast. I'm going to talk about any finished objects that I've finished since the last time. I'm going to talk about anything I'm working on right now, which I am working on a lot. And then I'm also going to talk about some recent acquisitions that I'm really excited about, and maybe I'll get into a couple plans. Although I think I might do a separate video if I have the time, talking about my summer knit and crochet plans and a little bit of inspiration, because I've been thinking a lot about that, and I have a couple projects that I'm really excited about. So let's get into it. Let's start with finished objects. The first finished object I'm going to talk about was actually a whip in my last video. It was this Bonnetclava that I actually made for my kids' school auction that somebody won, and then I made it for them, so we kind of collaborated on the colors, and I'm so happy with how this came out. I took some pictures on my daughter just so that I would have some pictures of it, but the colors, they're not the colors I would have chosen, but when they all came together, it just came out so cute. I loved it. One thing that I really liked about it was I hadn't ever done the scarf pieces in 2 different colors, and then I did that contrast stitch around the edge, and I feel like that just came out really, really cute. I was really happy with it, and I'm loving how the Cascade 220 Aran is working for the Bonnetclava, so I'm hoping that I can maybe start writing a pattern for it this summer so that it could potentially be released by the fall or winter. That's like my dream. Like I have all these designs like in my head or things I've made for my kids, but actually getting them to be into a pattern that other people can use, that's the hard part, isn't it? So yes, I loved that. I think that how it came out so cute, and I definitely want to make more in that style where I have the 2 different scarf pieces, the contrast, like using 3 colors, I feel like is really, really fun for the Bonnetclava. My next finished object is something that I made for my daughter for her 5th birthday. It is this crochet granny square vest, and I really wanted to make her something that had butterflies. She loves butterflies. It was the theme of her birthday party, and I got it in my head that I wanted to make a crochet granny square vest, and I would find a butterfly granny square, which was not as easy as I thought it would be. But finally I found this great tutorial on YouTube by Crochet by Kay, and I will link that in the description. It was very, very easy to follow, and I think that the butterflies are super, super cute. And yeah, I love how this came out. I'll put some pictures on the screen of how it looks on my daughter. I used a bunch of the Cascade 220 Aran that I had in my stash from making other Bonnetclavas, and so it was a great stash buster project. Oh, I'll show you the back also. So for the back, I just did plain no gap granny squares. That's what I call them. I don't know if there's another name for them, but basically a granny square where you don't do like 3 double crochets and then have a gap basically. Yeah, so I think this came out really cute. It's so simple. It's literally 8 squares, all the same size. You seam them up as, you know, they should be seamed. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 in the back, connect to under the arms. And then I just added a little bit of a contrast stitch around the armhole here. I did like 2 or 3 rows of single crochet, and just one row of single crochet around like the neck here down to the bottom, basically all around the bottom of the body with that green color. And then right in the middle where the squares come together, I picked up some stitches and did this tie, I-cord tie in the middle. The only thing that I think I need to add or adjust is that it kind of is falling off of her shoulders a little bit, and I think it needs a second tie. Maybe not all the way at the top, but I think maybe halfway between the current tie and the top of the vest. So maybe another one here. So I think that's something to keep in mind if I was going to make this again. I would love to make more of these for my kids. I feel like they're really kind of functional transitional pieces and easy to throw on, super like squishy and cozy and comfy and cute. And I think this would be a really fun tutorial to make. So that's something that I'm kind of thinking about potentially for the future, but really happy with how this came out. She really liked it, so that's the most important thing. Okay, my next finished object, I'm calling this a finished object even though maybe technically it's not finished. But this is the cardigan that I knit for baby number 4. It is the cardigan in the Ellen's Coming Home set by Petite Knit. And all I have left to do, it's dry. I blocked it like 2 days ago. It dried really fast because it's tiny. And it's knit in Sandnes Garden Duo, so that's a cotton merino blend in the color, I think it's 1002, but it's basically just white. And I love this yarn. Actually, while I was knitting this up, I was thinking I really want something for myself in this. Like, I think this would make for such a great summer sweater. So that's something I've been thinking about. Actually, I found a sweater pattern that uses Duo. I think it's the Mandy sweater by Knitters and Friends. I have to check. But anyway, back to this. So this is all done, and it has buttonholes down this whole side here. So I have to add, I think, 6 buttons. Yeah. And weave in the ends, and then it's done. But I was kind of struggling with the button choice. My original vision was to do a light pink button. I just thought just to do a white button would be kind of boring. And since I know I'm having a girl, I don't need it to be explicitly gender neutral. And so I really wanted to do pink buttons, but unfortunately I could not find pink buttons at my local yarn store that worked for this, like that were small enough and like the style that I wanted. Sorry, I had to run to a quick last minute pre-baby haircut appointment, but I'm back. And as I was saying, basically the only buttons that I could find locally that would work with this cardigan were these white buttons, but the original vision was always pink, so I kind of went back and forth for a while. I tried to go to Michael's, they didn't have anything, and so I ended up just looking on Amazon to see if there's anything I could get quickly, because I was a little bit worried about finishing this before the baby was born. So I'll show you what I found. So I got 2 options. Hopefully you can see these. This one is similar to the one I just showed you, but it's like a light pink. And this one is a heart-shaped one. So they're all kind of this like shell pearlescent-y color. And this is actually the first time I'm looking at it. I think that these pearlescent-y ones, they have quite a bit of color variation, and they're actually a little bit purpley brown, which is not what I was going for. So it might be that I just go with the pink heart. So I'm gonna think that over today and hopefully get that finished, weave in the ends, and then it's really gonna be a finished object, but I'm still gonna call it a finished object even though I don't have the buttons on yet. Okay, the only other finished object that I have is this little knit crown, which I made. I was taking my youngest to Mommy and Me at the Waldorf school where my older girls go. And in the class, as part of the class, there's a period where the parents like have to knit and while the kids play. And so this was the project that I decided to do. It's just this really cute, it's like garter stitch, super beginner friendly, a really fun like little dress up thing that you can make for your kids. And actually I was thinking this could maybe be a fun tutorial to make because it's super simple and beginner friendly. So maybe I'll think about doing that, but that's the only other finished thing that I have. Okay, I have a lot of whips right now, so I'll go through them really quickly. I have from last time, still unfinished, the Tulip Farm sweater, the kids version by Harvey Road Knits. And I haven't made much progress on this. I kind of put it on the back burner so that I could get the baby cardigan and that kind of stuff done. But I think the main difference is I finished the body ribbing. I haven't cast off yet. And I picked up stitches and knit the neckline. It kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit because I picked up stitches, I knit the neckline, and it just looks like very, I don't know, it doesn't look that good. Maybe blocking will fix it. And then I tried it on my daughter and the ribbon got super stretched out, which was weird because I was like, this is merino. It should not get so stretched out. So it's possible I'm going to have to go back in with a little elastic thread just to make it fit a little better. But in terms of this kind of like it not laying that flat here, maybe blocking will fix that. I'm not sure. So I basically just have to cast off the body and do the sleeves. So I'm going to pick that back up probably after the baby's born. So that's been kind of a bit of a whip on pause, but I have still made a little bit of progress since the last podcast. So I thought I would show you that. The other whip that we talked about last time that is still not done is the Monday Sweater Junior that I was knitting for my oldest daughter. And the sweater itself is done. So, like, you know, I blocked it. Whoops. It's totally done. It's really cute. I'm so happy with it. The fabric is amazing. As you can see on the front, I have some stitch markers, and that's because my vision for this was always to do some kind of something on the front. I wanted to do shamrocks. I was thinking I would do color work, but then I changed my mind. I said, I'll try duplicate stitch. I've never done it before, but how hard could it be? And I'm getting so frustrated because the duplicate stitch is not easy. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe it's this particular garment, but I'm really having trouble getting it right and also having like the quiet focused time to really get it right, if that makes sense. So I don't know, you can see I have like 2 stitches right there. I went to my local yarn store to try to get some kind of tips and tricks, but I don't know that there really are any other than just practicing it, going slow. They recommended maybe knitting a swatch and just like doing practice duplicate stitch, which is so annoying. Like I really just want to get this done, but it's okay. So that one's kind of on pause also. I'm a little bit frustrated. I don't want to give up on doing the shamrock because really that was the vision, and it ties the green cuffs and the neckline together so well. Otherwise I feel like it's weird that it's a different color. But yeah, so I just kind of need to take some time to really focus on that and just get it done. So those are the 2 of the whips that we talked about last time that I've made a little bit of progress on, but not a ton. They've kind of been put on hold. Okay, one more that we've seen before are the granny squares that I've been crocheting for the baby blanket that I'm making for baby number 4. The pattern for this is the Tea Party Daisy flower blanket by Hooked with a Twist. And I need 35 squares before I can start seaming it all up and doing like all the finishing and everything. And I picked this back up a couple days ago when I finished the baby cardigan. So right now I have about 25 finished squares. So I'm going to need to still do 10 more before I can get that all assembled and put together. So probably not going to be done before the baby, given I'm due in like 4 days. But who knows, maybe she'll wait until I'm done with the blanket and then decide to come, which would be very stressful. So that's kind of been my main whip that I've been working on just in the last couple days, just try to get it done for the baby. And then I have a couple new whips that we did not talk about in the last podcast because I've only just cast them on since. And the first one I will talk about is my Camisole number 10 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I'm knitting this up in 2 strands of Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color Red Currant. I'm obsessed with this yarn. I want to make everything in this yarn and in this color. As you can tell, I have a color scheme. And yeah, it's coming together really fast. I love the fabric. It's super soft. I did just try it on and it's fitting well. I'm making a size large. And the only thing that I plan to do differently from the pattern is modify it to make it a little bit more breastfeeding friendly. So I connected under the armholes here and I'm going to knit about 2 inches in the round. So I have another probably 3/4 of an inch to do here. And then I'm going to split again into front and back panels, potentially do a couple stitches increase on each side just so there isn't like too much of an opening like when I'm just wearing it open. But the reason I want to do that is so I can lift it up and breastfeed more easily than having to like pull the whole tank top up, you know what I mean? So that's my plan for this. I hope it comes out the way that I'm imagining it. And then I think what I'll probably do is add an I-cord tie on each, or 2 I-cord ties on each side so I can like tie a little bow. But we'll see what it looks like without the ties. Maybe I'll decide I don't even want or need that. The reason why I'm not going to do buttonholes is I'm not sure how long it's going to be. So I kind of want the flexibility of just putting the ties wherever I want. So that is my Camisole number 10. I am loving it. Okay, another whip that we didn't see last time because I've cast it on since then is the Foolproof Cardigan by We Made Wardrobe, which I am knitting in Lang Cloud and Lang Zen. I was just feeling major FOMO of this pattern and this yarn, and I just decided to buy it and cast it on kind of on a whim. And you can see how beautiful the colors are. It's a lot of light green, light blue, purple. It's really, really pretty. And I'm loving this yarn combination. They're both super squishy and soft. And it's knitting up really fast because of the gauge. I'm using 8mm needles. And I'll put the colors in the description. I don't know them off the top of my head. But yeah, this has just been a nice, like, plain stockinette. I can pick it up whenever and just do a couple rows, like, before bed or whatever. So, no, like, rush timeline on this one. I mean, it's getting hot here anyway, so just a fun, colorful, like, happy project to pick up whenever I feel like it. Okay, my last big whip, it's kind of hard to show you because I just have a bunch of squares pinned together, but basically it's going to be a oversized granny square cardigan. So imagine like imagine the vest, my daughter's vest that I made, but with sleeves. It's the same thing basically. 4 squares in the front, 4 squares in the back. And then my plan is to seam up the body piece and then just pick up stitches around the arm and probably just knit and granny stitch down the arm, potentially give a little bit of flare at the bottom. I am crocheting this in Majo or Majo, I don't know how to say it, honey alpaca held together with their pearl mohair, which is an amazing combination. I can't wait to use this combination again. Their honey alpaca especially, well, honestly both are extremely soft. I think that the pearl mohair is definitely one of the softest mohairs I've ever like used and touched. And I love this alpaca. This is in the color Banana 308. And same with the mohair. And this is actually for a friend who I put up like an adult crochet garment in our school auction, and she won it. And so we kind of collabed on what I would make and came up with this. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is another thing that I would love to make a tutorial for because it's so easy and they're so cute. And I have seen so many cardigans like this on Pinterest that are just like really, really cool. So that was kind of the inspo here. So I think I have one more square of the body left to do, and then I'll seam it all up, do the arms, the ties, and then it's pretty much done. So this whip is pretty close to the finish line. And yeah, I just love this yarn combo. I'm really excited about it. Just gotta get it done. And then I want to make one for myself. I got to figure out what color I want to use. Okay, last bonus whip. This one's kind of been put aside, but I'll show you anyway. This is a little crochet bag that I was making for my daughter. And I just have to sew on the button and add the strap. I just kind of put it aside because I was doing other stuff, but I do want to finish that. I feel like it's really cute. The yarn that I'm using is Cascade 220 Wave in the worsted weight, not the Aran weight. And this is another one that I thought would be really fun to make a tutorial for because it's a really quick project that you can make like for your kids, a little treasure bag, a little purse. So yeah, I gotta just finish that. You know, sometimes you just have more mojo to start things than to finish them. That's just the way it is, but it'll get done eventually. And I think that's everything for my whips. But I feel like in my mind, I have so many things I'm about to cast on. But yeah, those are basically all my kind of active whips right now. So let's move on to acquisitions. I have a couple things that I'm going to unbox that I haven't even looked at yet. Okay, this I had to get from Etsy because I can't get these particular yarns anywhere in the US, at least that I found. So it did take a little while for it to arrive, but I'm really excited. Oh my god. Tell me this doesn't look like I just opened up a box of candy. Ah! Okay. So I have yarn for 2 projects. This is all Filcolana Peruvian. First, I got these 2 greens to make the BB cardigan by Ingrid Deeb, I think is how you say her last name. And I'm going to make this for my son. Let me see if the colors are on here. It just has the numbers 279 and 269. And I just thought these were such fun greens. And it feels a lot like Pure Gint. I've never used this yarn before because, like I said, I can't get it that easily, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. I'm excited. Okay, so I got enough yarn to make that for my son, I think in a size 3T, because he's almost 2.5. And then I got these 3 colors of Filcolana Peruvian to make the Apple Blomst or Apple Bloom, Apple Flower sweater by Clara Eggers, I think is how you say her name, the kids version. So one of her samples that she has on like her Instagram and her Ravelry, I'll put a picture of it here, uses these exact colors, and I was just so obsessed with that exact sample. I said I have to get the exact same colors, the exact same yarn, and make the exact same sweater for my daughter. So I got all of those. The colors are 318 is the light pink, 313 is like the bubblegum pink, and 281 is this kind of light teal blue. So they're really pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, this is another box I haven't even opened yet, but it's from Majo Garn. And, oh, I'm so excited. Ah, yay. Okay, I'll show you what the top looks like, but it's a pretty big box. There's layers. So first I have these 2 colors of their pearl mohair, and I got the red, which is their color is called Cherry. That one I got for, I cast on a red cardigan number 9 a while ago, and I used Knitting for Olive mohair, and I just really didn't like how you could see the white core like really clearly, and online it looked like this was a little bit better, and it does look better in person too. So I have to frog the whole thing anyway, so I decided I was going to use this, and I'll use the other red mohair for something else. I also got this gray mohair in the color Slate to use for a vest number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I already have the cotton merino blend, I think that it calls for. I forget what it's called off the top of my head right now, but I didn't have a mohair to go with it. So I got this one. It is so soft. I'm really excited about that. And then for the second row, I got a bunch of colors of their fine merino. I will pull some of them out. Ah! And these are to make matching swan sweaters for my kids. I will put a picture of the pattern so you can see. But the pattern calls for Fine Merino by Majo Garn, and I just love all of their yarns, so I said, okay, I'll just order theirs and just use the recommended yarn. And oh my god, I'm obsessed with this pink. It's so pretty. And for my son, I'm gonna be using this blue color. This is Slate Blue. So those are my most recent acquisitions that I wanted to open live with you. Kind of been holding off because I knew I couldn't cast on all these projects, but that's okay. So yeah, that's all my acquisitions for yarn. The only other thing that I've gotten are some buttons that I ordered. These when I was ordering the Lang Cloud and Lang Zen. And I didn't get them for any particular project. I just thought they were really pretty, and so I wanted to get some of them. So first I have these purple buttons. I got a bunch of these pink big shell buttons. And then I got a similar button to the shell button, but in a flower shape. And same with these little green buttons. So I don't know, I just thought they were really cute. I don't have a button stash at all. Like, I basically just buy buttons when I need them for a project. So I thought it'd be fun to have some buttons lying around. I was thinking maybe these pink ones I would use for my Foolproof cardigan potentially. I'm not sure. So those were just fun. I don't know, just for fun, not for anything specific. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today. A little bit of my acquisitions that I'm excited about, whips that I'm finishing up. I have so many things that I want to cast on, and I'm trying my best to finish up some of these projects before I do that. But maybe after this, I'll do a little summer planning, knitting and crochet video. That could be fun, just to show you guys some of the things that I've started swatching for. That I really want to cast on soon. And yeah, I hope you found some inspiration from some of these projects, and I would love to know what you're working on. Let me know in the comments, especially if you have little ones, you're working on projects for them, or you are nursing and you've knit something or crocheted something that's been super functional for nursing and also really cute. I would love to hear about it. I have started doing a little nursing friendly knitting pattern roundup. So I have one that I've already posted with poncho and cape patterns. The next one I'm going to be doing are wrap tops, and I have a ton of patterns that I've been saving over the past few weeks. So if you are nursing or you're going to be having a baby soon, definitely check those out, because I think there's a lot of really good inspiration there. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys got a little bit of inspiration from my projects and my acquisitions. I know I'm feeling very inspired by all these colors right now. So I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Talk to you soon. Hopefully I will have a baby by then. Bye.